There's 61 of you here having a time, coming out, ready to support the entrepreneurs and the investors and the community. We're here to build it, Calgary. Let's get it going. We're live. It's Thursday night tradition in Alberta. Welcome to week 104 Pitch Night Extravaganza. We're kicking off our spring summit. We're celebrating 2 years of startup TNT. We've got 40 pitches, 20 from Calgary, 20 from Edmonton. They're happening simultaneously. If you want to check the link to the Edmonton Summit, just ask the chat or peek at your email. Awesome to share with you guys the entire province. We really want to build this connection, and we're really excited to make this happen. Just to give you some context, we get together at TNT to have fun, make friends, and build companies every single Thursday. But these investment summits are where the magic really happens. It's where we can do more than just share a beer together. We invest in the great entrepreneurs that are building our future. And each time we do it, we try to bring as many people together as we can in order to support the great startups in our community. So let them know you're here. Give them a shout out in the chat. Give your fingers a little exercise. Be like Kyle. Make everyone feel a little welcome. Send a random message to someone that you don't know right now. Let's send it. Yeah, like Jade, giddy up, send it. All right, here's one thing. Before we get on the show, here's some stats on the summit. We had 65 awesome companies from around the province apply. We had 58 investors confirmed, and there's still room for a few more. Something that you guys should probably know: Edmonton's winning. This isn't, it's not just the Oilers versus the Flames here. We got more investors too. So gonna let that stand. Let's get it going, Calgary. We got 96 beer deliveries going out so far. We got $325 people have been donating to the beer fund for members of our community in order to make this community event happen. And we've got 4 t-shirts to give away. So pay attention to those stats. It's going to come back to bite you later. Now, I just want to stress one really important point. This is not a pitch competition. These are real investors investing their own money into local startups. Each of the investors ponying up $5,000 up front. They haven't even seen the deals. They're seeing them today live right now with you. And then all the investors are going to work together as a team over the next 7 weeks to make the final investment decision, sharing notes, meeting with the companies, and developing best practices along the way. On June 17th, at least one company from each Edmonton and Calgary are going to receive at least $150K in investment. And every time that we've done this so far, multiple companies have raised money. The investors just can't agree on what's good, what's the best company, how they should be doing this. Everybody's always disagreed and decided that they want to invest more than their 5K. They wanted to invest more into the number one company. They want to invest more into the side deals and other things that they see. And we're hyped to get Alberta going. Last time we did this, we raised over $1 million for these companies. We want to do that again, and ideally even more this time. So bring investors that you know, get hyped for these companies, bring friends that you know. This is one of the most exciting events of the year here. And we also do this with incredible support from our community. We've got the logo board behind me here. We got KRP, CBRE, some of their teams also investing. Allo Financial, also a sponsor and investor. 4th Street Capital, that's me, also a sponsor and investor. We got Accelerate Fund. Yasmin's here. She's going to be talking to you guys a little bit soon. Red Thread Ventures, new sponsor, also an investor. Valhalla Angels, sponsor and investor. Deal Closer, who helps us out with our documents. The Gather Co., which is the folks up in Edmonton, delivering beers, everybody here. And Outcast Brewing in Calgary. We've got an awesome community here to support you guys, and we're really excited to make this all happen. And like I said, some of our sponsors are here to host the event for us. So one quick thing, the format for tonight. How does this work? We got 20 companies. We have a really exciting lineup for you. The format is each startup's going to have 3 minutes to pitch and 2 minutes to answer questions. Those questions are going to be facilitated by investors that are participating in the summit. The 3 minutes is not a hard stop, so please manage your time accordingly, but the 5 minutes is hard stop. So make sure that you leave some time for questions and look good and manage your time appropriately. So let's meet our co-hosts for the first hour. Let's just get right into it. We've got John Fisher from CBRE and Neil Van de Bunt from our investment team. Actually, both of them are investors and in the ecosystem and awesome champions. I see Neil pretty much everywhere that I don't even expect to see this guy, and he's there happening in the startup scene. John invested in the last summit. We're really excited to have you guys here, and thank you so much, John and Neil. Take it away.
Great, thanks a lot, Tim. Thanks for having me back. This is the second go around hosting this awesome event and evening, so I'm really happy to be here. I'll let Neil say a few things, and then I'll jump into our first presenter. So why don't you go ahead, Neil, and say hello?
Sure, I'm not very long-winded, but yeah, this is my second summit. I took part in the first Calgary summit in the fall, and it was a ton of fun. We had some great companies there and some great investors, made a lot of friends and drank a lot of beer, and I'm excited to do it again this spring.
I think that's why they paired us up together, because I actually am quite long-winded, so it's nice to have a bit of balance between the two hosts. Anyways, we're really happy to be here, and CBRE has been a big sponsor of Startup TNT right from the get-go. We do it because we believe heavily in the message, and we believe in supporting the entrepreneurs that are building the cities that we live in, particularly in Calgary and Edmonton. Obviously, tonight's about Calgary, but there is, as Tim mentioned, a concurrent event happening in Edmonton. And it's a lot of fun to see what people are up to. And CBRE as a company, I should probably mention, what we do is commercial real estate. We do support all these startups when they start taking on the need for space. We help them find office space and event space and conference space and R&D space and whatnot. So we are there to help advise the companies as they reach maturity. But tonight's all about the startup stage. And we have an excellent lineup of really, really cool companies that I'm really looking forward to introducing. But before I do, I wanted to just shout out a couple things. So the first one is the Outcast and Valley delivery. I showed up at my door. This is one of the best parts of TNT, is that I get to, without any judgment, I get to actually drink while hosting, which I think is encouraged. And if not, I'm sure Tim will tell me later. But I wanted to just point out that I've selected my first beer, which is the Wee Heavy Scotch Ale, which I think is apropos considering my genetic predilection as well as proportions. So I will be kicking off with the Wee Heavy Scotch Ale as we go for the evening. And I'm really, really excited. Everyone is here to have a good time. So let's kick it off. Our very, very first presenter, I just want to throw a quick shout out to the starting line of your website, which is private unleash GPS. And I thought right away, is this something my wife wants for me or no? It turns out it's all about animals and doing that entirely differently than it's been done before. I'm super excited. I'm going to turn it over to John. John, are you ready to hit it up with Spot Dog Walking? Are you ready to tell us what's going on?
Absolutely.
Right on, man. You're up. Let's go.
We'll give you a wee bit of time to get your screen set up there, and this is for all the presenters, and then we'll start timing once you start rolling into your pitch, just so you're aware.
Hi, everybody. My name is John Minchin, and I'm the founder of Spot Dog Walking. And Spot is a true on-demand dog walking app with guaranteed walker arrival in under 90 minutes, or the walk is free. We've done 70,000 walks and over $1.3 million in revenue to date. We did 600,000 in the 12 months leading up to COVID, and our best month was 63,000. And over the past 2 years, we've increased our margins from 14 to 28%. Spot is the safest, easiest, and by far most reliable dog walking solution on the market. We keep our customers' dogs safe with private, on-leash, GPS-tracked walks with insured, background-checked walkers. We've designed a booking experience that's incredibly simple to use, where booking a dog walk looks and feels pretty similar to booking an Uber. We schedule our walkers ahead of time and use algorithms to automatically connect customers with walkers upon request, therefore eliminating customer wait time. Let me show you. So once the customer enters their walk information, we let our scheduling algorithms go to work. And as you can see, searching for, connecting you to, and then boom, there's your list of available walkers. Now just select the walker of your choice and set it and forget it. That's it. It's that simple. Our walk reports also have photos, short story form videos from the walks, and our walk maps even show if and exactly where a dog did their business. From a reliability perspective, there's really nothing that comes close to Spot. We haven't failed to supply a customer with a walker upon request in over 1.5 years. We haven't had a walker no-show in over 2 years. And if a Spot walker arrives late, even just 1 minute late for a walk, that walk is free. That's our guarantee. Now, as you likely already know, dog ownership rates have absolutely exploded since the pandemic. And as a result, Morgan Stanley expects the pet care market to triple over the next decade. Rover, which is the Airbnb for pet sitting, just filed to go public at a $1.35 billion valuation and reported a 50% increase in bookings from February to March as vaccines roll out in the US. We've stayed lean throughout COVID and managed to weather the storm by keeping our burn under $5K a month. But now, with our market on the verge of returning, we're raising $500,000 to help fuel a 9-city national expansion so we can take full advantage as hundreds of thousands of new dog owners begin returning to work. Thank you.
Well done, John. That was just under 3 minutes. So that gives us just over 2 minutes for questions. I don't see any in the chat here yet. So everybody, please feel free to pepper questions in the general chat and I'll ask them. But one that I have is, so tell us about your expansion plan. So you have a nine city expansion plan planned. Where are you now? Where are you going to go? And what's your sales strategies to get to those markets?
Yeah, we're currently in Calgary and we're planning on launching in the 9 biggest cities across Canada. So Vancouver, Edmonton, Regina, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, Hamilton, Mississauga, Toronto, and Ottawa. And primarily we'll be spreading awareness through video Facebook ads around that, really try and cover the safety, ease of use, and reliability of the service, and then converting new users with Google ads. Over the past 7 or 8 months, we've got our customer acquisition cost down to $63. We've got a $250 lifetime value. So when when people do begin to return to work, we're fairly confident that we can efficiently deploy capital.
That's great. We're seeing a couple competition questions in here. So when we're looking at these new markets that you're going into, John, what's the competition like in the other markets and how do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah, so there have been a number of companies that have tried to do on-demand dog walking. And really, the majority have failed. There's one in the US still called WAG, but they've had major challenges that have resulted in like horrible press, dead dogs, cover-ups, lawsuits, declining revenue, and their lead investor, SoftBank, pulling out. Rover is, as I mentioned, they just filed to go public at over $1 billion. They are fundamentally different, though. It is more of just like an open two-sided platform for pet service providers to list their services and connect with pet owners. In Canada, as we roll out into these 9 cities, we're really just dealing with Rover from like an SEO and Google pay-per-click competitor. And then locally, our biggest competitors are local dog walkers and dog daycares.
Great. Well, that's awesome, John. And I love a demo and a pitch too. So thanks for that. I'll flip it over for the next company.
Cheers. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, John. While we're getting ready for our next presenter, I'll do just a brief intro, which is kind of neat. AI and machine learning obviously are topical for everyone right now. And I've read about natural language processing, and thinking about all of them coming together to solve pain points in a process is what this next company is all about. Cody from Integrity Tech Solutions is going to hit us up with their startup TNT pitch. Cody, are you there?
I certainly am.
Right on. It looks like you got your screen up. Are you ready to wow us?
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to get going.
Right on. Well, let's do it. Over to you, Cody.
Perfect. My name is Cody Carroll. I'm one of the co-founders of Integrity Technology Solutions. We're a company that operates in the oil and gas industry, which is characterized by thousands of joint venture relationships. And there's millions of dollars and millions of transactions being exchanged between these joint venture parties on a regular basis. And those transactions are ultimately audited by somebody, usually 2 years after the fact. It's really hard to follow up. Everybody's excited about dogs. So switching over to accounting might be a little bit boring, but I'm going to try to make it exciting anyway. So in my years of industry experience as an accountant and now an auditor, one of the biggest problems that I see plaguing this industry is inaccessible working capital. There's a supply chain line that has tens or hundreds of billions of dollars tied up in it somewhere along the way. I'm not going to go through every detail of this supply chain, but the essence is that from the time a service is ordered to the time that that invoice is received by a company and then paid and then invoiced out to working interest owners and then paid by them, we're looking at a lead time of 145 days minimum. And that's just crazy. And that's typical in the oil and gas industry. And so the cost of this is really, I mean, you could look at this as those tens or hundreds of billions of dollars multiplied by companies' debt rates. A lot of us have the debt financing. So that doesn't even take into consideration administration time with disputes and problems along the way. So the solutions that we've been building at ITS are a set of product pipeline products that start with something that we just released called Audit IQ. And what Audit IQ is it's an automated transaction review application. We have a first mover advantage on this, where it's used to review invoices, mimicking what an auditor would actually look like. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is push this industry towards real-time audit. We want to be comparable to the TSA pre-check symbol that you see on boarding passes in the US, where transactions that are coming across have been validated with our logo on it and have been pre-checked by a natural language processing system. The idea is that we ultimately want to develop this core technology towards something that is real-time audit and ultimately even full accounting automation. Even though that Audit IQ is the first product that we have in our pipeline, we've got great traction on it through a concierge model, which is validating the technology that we have. We're reducing audit costs by 30%. And when companies are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on audit costs, that's significant. And we're getting efficiency increases of up to 135 times. So what we're trying to do is tackle a market at the end of the day that's going to be absolutely huge. Going back to our original timeline, what we're trying to do is cut this timeline down so that's no longer something that's measured in months or weeks. It's measured in hours or minutes. Our founding team is different. What our competitive advantage really is that we were auditors first. And so we've gained the expertise in technology to develop something that is truly custom for an industry that we understand and that we know. And that's why we say that we build trust through technology. We're building trust first. We're not just building applications. We're looking to create some relationships with investors. We're looking for between $300,000 and $500,000, which is going to really see us through more development, help us keep that first mover advantage, and ultimately execute our go-to market strategy. And just a closing note, Cody Austin, middle guy, happy birthday. It's his birthday today. With that, I will say thank you very much, and I'll open it up to questions.
Great, thanks, Cody, and way to make accounting exciting. That was that was pretty good. Okay, we got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. We went a wee bit over 3 minutes there. Kyle Konofsky's asking, have you guys thought about looking at the invoice financing or AR financing shops that could use this to validate the accounts receivable or invoices they want to finance? This would de-risk their funding operations.
So that's really what the first product is doing, is that it is validating invoices that are ultimately going to go in through the subledger processes. So yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of analytics that get built behind all of that. But yeah, we're scraping that information from invoices and we're putting that through the models to understand it and compare it to contracts at the end of the day.
Perfect. And what is your business model? Is it a SaaS model or is it based on something else?
Great question. We're currently a concierge model, but within the next 1 to 2 months, we're working towards the SaaS model.
Okay, and last one, so you're using funds to add developers. What sort of features are the staff going to be working on in the near term?
Boy, there's a lot to unpack there because there's all sorts of different techs that we're working on. So if anybody does know developers, I know that they're hard to get, but we are looking at NLP developers.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Cody. That was great, and we'll kick it back to John for the next one.
Thanks very much.
Right on. I'll remind everybody in this presentation and pitch that there's no better birthday present than a funding announcement. So just keep that in mind. No pressure. Great job, Cody. Obviously, a great opportunity to harness technology to make a very inefficient process much more efficient. Our next presenter, a fellow by the name of Ryan Corey. Ryan is a serial entrepreneur. I've actually crossed paths with Ryan a few times on a variety of different fronts, but I'm really, really excited about this particular pitch that he's going to give us. It's called Local Shops Inc. And it's all about what we should all be doing, which is supporting local. And that's so important now more than ever before. Ryan, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you? Are you ready to do this, man?
Oh yeah, never been more ready. So yeah, appreciate the time.
Right on. Well, I'll let you get your slides in order, and then when you are ready, give us the thumbs up, and we can go.
Perfect. All right, you can see it okay?
Yeah, we're good. Good luck, man.
Beautiful. So as we know from the pandemic, small businesses are in desperate need of a lifeline. COVID could shutter more than 200,000 businesses in Canada alone, and small firms have been getting suppressed and squeezed out by big business for years now. So we put it on ourselves to create local shops to help them. We're helping entrepreneurs link to new and existing audiences through our localized e-commerce marketplace. And we're really benefiting from 76% of small businesses who are now relying on digital tools more than ever before. We have an all-star team that's helping roll this into market. I myself am a 3-time founder and former professional athlete. I've scaled a Shopify store to $300K in annual revenue. Our CTO is a senior software engineer who scaled her dev firm to over $500K in annual revenue. Our CMO has had one successful exit as a published writer and scaled an Instagram account to 225,000 followers. We've identified 3 major pain points with our merchants: online visibility, local delivery, and inventory space. So that's what we're focused on with the roadmap of local shops. We've started in phase 1 with our marketplace and market subscription, and currently in development is phase 2 with co-work and warehouse space and our demand delivery through the gig driver economy. Our market solution is simple. We aggregate local products so shoppers can easily discover and buy locally. And we do this through our differentiators. Scalability, of course, a huge thing, right in our name, localshops.com, perfect for SEO. We're also technology built from scratch with integrations with Shopify, WooCommerce, Wix, and Instagram. We have a radius search that starts hyper local and then sparses outwards. And we have market partnerships with cities like Medicine Hat, Alberta Community Futures, Saskatchewan Community Futures, and are working on a few others which are confidential at this time. We've had amazing traffic and are rolling out local delivery and co-work, as I mentioned, in phase 2. Our market growth has been substantial. Since September, we've gotten over 100,000 products, over 100,000 unique site visits, and over 30,000 in revenue, with saturation in Calgary, Edmonton, throughout Canada, and into the US with merchants. We all know the size of this market. It's massive, 86.1 billion in sales last year, 44% growth, and over 4 million e-commerce businesses that we can work with. We're looking to raise an angel round, $500,000 on a safe post-money with an 80% discount. We currently have 100K in the pipeline in due diligence and about another 350K that's on the side burner. So looking to close this out to automate our platform, expand across North America, and we'd love for you to be a part of the journey. Cheers.
Well, that was great, Ryan. Thanks for that. That's some great traction, and I imagine that you have been flying for the last year and a bit as we've worked through this. Now, I'll start it off with a question from me. Kyle had asked him, but you answered it in your pitch deck, which is a great sign. So as you're looking to grow over the next few months, what are some of the roadblocks that you see in terms of scaling and growing outside of where you guys are currently operating?
Well, we're in every major Canadian city. We're in New York, Los Angeles, and Boston. We don't have really any roadblockers other than me being able to manage the influx of merchants who want to get onto our platform. But being a Shopify merchant myself, I like lazy businesses. I don't want to put a lot of time and effort. I love automation. So that's where the money would go, to make this so automated that we have to do very little hand-holding. We can just systematically roll out in all of our cities, targeting the merchants that we support We have a massive email database of over 4 million e-commerce merchants, segregated by city, state, province, country, all the way through Canada, US, UK, New Zealand, Australia. And as soon as we have the support system to roll out, it's just a matter of pulling the trigger.
That's great. Any other questions from the audience? We've got about 30 seconds left here if you want to pop something in there. So another one that I had here was, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the other markets that you're looking at? You mentioned New Zealand and the UK and stuff like that. Have you already expanded into those? As it sounds like it's North America right now.
Yeah, North America, we want to get into the UK. We have a team member who is going to help with our UK expansion. She went to Wharton. She's got a focus in customer experience and retail innovation. She's based out of London. So that's definitely on the roadmap for September. We want to really absorb as many locations as we can prior to the selling season. And that's why it's so important for the money now to accelerate, capture the market, be the dominant player. We have the scalability to do it. We've positioned ourselves this way to take full advantage of the capital. And there's urgency to do so, not just for the social impact, but to own what we want to own. And that's the entire market.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Thanks, Ryan. I'll kick it back to you there, John.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, one of the things that's really important about Pitch Night is we actually are doing just that. We are supporting local. All of the 20 pitches we're hearing tonight are from Calgary, which is an excellent opportunity for first-time investors to jump in, or for regular investors to continue on supporting the local startup and the local entrepreneur scene. Our next group is led by Julian, who's going to talk to us about dynamic range imaging, and it's a really, really neat product. Really excited to hear the pitch. Julian, you there, and are you good to go?
Hi there. Yeah, I am all here and getting ready. Yep.
Right on. We'll let you give you a sec to get your slides up. I love what looks to be a fairly flora and fauna rich apartment there. Great stuff. As soon as you got the slides up, you are good to go, my friend.
Thank you. I'm just looking for how do I share this? And you're right, I have quite a growing fauna here all behind my back. All right. Can you guys see the presentation?
Yes, it's up and good to go. So when you are ready, take it away.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Julian. I am a founder of a company called YYC Inc. This is a spin-off technology developed at the University of Calgary, and I'm leading right now this team. So we are focusing on nanotechnology and silicon fabrication. We design image sensors that you can find in every device. The key differentiation between us and other technology, I guess, will be better to present in pictures. So we design wide dynamic range sensors. Here on this example, we can see that we try to capture an image, and the sensor is not set to capture bright objects. However, you can see low light objects. And if you change camera settings, you can see the bright objects. However, low light objects are all underexposed. And all of us are familiar with this problem, especially in Zoom events. We can see bright backgrounds and things getting under-saturated. So we develop a technology, an image sensor, that can capture all the brightness intensities in one single frame. We already have a prototype, and due today we started the company about half year ago. We still pre-revenue company. We got some seed investment from government of Alberta and working forward commercialization. We set up all the basics, and now we're discovering the markets. We already have one client interested to adopt this technology and be partner with us. So we're working for this path. We also investigate other image sensor companies that are actually willing to adopt this technology and grow. Right now, the market is owned by Sony on semiconductors and Samsung. They share about 75% in the market, and the market is estimated as $20 billion, and it's growing up with rapid pace. So our client is belong right now to welding industry. They need this sensor to control manufacturing processes, and with our sensor, they will be able to make reliable welding process, so they can save a lot of resources on welding and make their product way more reliable. They actually specialize in automatic welding systems. Now we're all familiar with this bridge. We'll love to walk you around. So this bridge construction was delayed because of the welding issue that we had. But with our technology combined with with welding processes, these delays can be eliminated, of course. We're not limiting ourselves this technology. We think that this is opening technology, and we see this being applicable for surveillance systems as well for navigation and automation systems for traffic and autopilot systems. The spectrum of application is huge. We have a little bit of advantages above the existing wide dynamic range sensors that Sony and NIT are manufacturing. So we hope that we have enough force to penetrate the market with technology that we have. If we select the model with building the product integrated with our clients, I believe we will be profitable in 2 years. It's all depend on how many sensors we design, how many sensors we produce. We need to cross the gap of 250,000 sensors per year, and then their price drops drastically, so we can manufacture them very cheap. This is our team, myself, Dr. Eric Pecht, and my friend, Mr. Devin Atkins. So that is it, and I'll open the audience for questions.
Awesome, thanks, Julian. That ran about 4 minutes. So we have about a minute for questions. We're seeing a few questions come in terms of IP. So is there a patent on your technology or patent protection or pending?
Oh, correct. Yeah, Neil, great question. So we have one existing patent belong to my co-founder, and 2 patents in provisional stage.
Okay, excellent. And then we have another question about what's your technology readiness level? What sort of stage is the hardware at?
So we right now we have an MVP, and this is a ready image sensor that can capture brightness intensities. However, it's a small device. So if we want to penetrate it into the market and make it industrial application, we need to change we need to update the sensor design. So we need to design a new sensor. And that's the reason we are right now changing a little bit our strategics and talking with image sensor companies. So they have all the facilities and everything, and we can integrate our solution directly with their product and just make a new product in a time period of 4 months. Compared to design everything in-house, spend about $500,000 we'll need to design our sensors ourselves, complete full product.
Great, awesome. Well, thanks, Julian. Appreciate that. And John, back to you.
Great, thanks, Julian. That was a really neat presentation. I certainly suffer from that. I think we all do with Zoom. Constantly being moved around in your house if you're like me and you have a family and you're trying to always get the right angle so people can actually see your face. So that's interesting to see the prototype and interesting to see the output of that. Moving on to a bit of a different zone is our next presenter, which is all about the arts. And I think it's a really neat message, one that I think will help our city become very vibrant, particularly as we encourage the art scenes. Mike, are you live? Can you hear me, Mike?
You betcha, John. I can hear you. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Well, this is great, Mike. I'm really looking forward to this. I did a little research on your company, and it looks like a very neat and very cool setup. So I'm looking forward to it. When you're ready, kick off.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I'd love to introduce you to the startup that's giving successful careers to artists all across the globe. Since we pivoted to this artist market last fall, we've grown really quickly. We're now over $200,000 ARR. Introduce you to our founding team. I am former Western Canada's strongest man, as well as a proven energy industry executive. Co-founder Julie is a professional gallery represented artist, and co-founder Victor is an industry recognized AI expert. So the reality is, millions of artists across the globe are actively seeking feedback from experts so that they can master the skills that they need to sell their art. But in this highly fragmented industry, good mentors are really hard to access, and when found can be really expensive. So we solve this with our apprenticeships marketplace and interaction platform, where artists get personalized mentoring from their choice of master artist in a curated small group. And we offer them an algorithm-enabled exceptional experience. What that means is, since all of our interactions happen in the digital space, we can use AI to provide mentoring assistance to our masters, as well as use AI for quality control of these interactive human-to-human connections, even at a global scale. We stand head and shoulders above all of our art industry education competitors. We are the only platform that combines the high value of live mentoring and the incredibly sticky small group peer experience. Fundamentally, we're a managed edtech marketplace. We charge the artist a monthly subscription fee. The masters are compensated depending on the tier that they're mentoring at. And our secret sauce, don't tell anybody, is these artist peer facilitators. Every group has one of these, and it's the addition of these facilitators that's leading to this fantastic growth. We cut our teeth for over a year and a half in the corporate managers vertical and pivoted fall 2020 into this artist space. And since then, we've achieved fantastic growth. We're over 18K MRR, or over 200K ARR today. We are attracting 2 new subscribers every day. 10% of our members hold multiple subscriptions. We have a very attractive CAC to CLTV ratio, very low churn rate. We have members on every habitable continent on Earth, and several of our members have told us recently that they quit their day job and have taken up art full-time simply because LevellingUp exists and it's there to support them. Our strategy is we're going to start in this visual artist segment as our beachhead market, and then grow into adjacent creatives verticals, adding them in successive years until LevellingUp becomes the apprenticeships marketplace for the world's creatives, where you go to learn those skills you can only learn from another human being. We forecast growing to over 800 million revenue in just a few years, and the plan is to exit by acquisition to one of those competitors in the bottom left-hand quadrant, those competitors that are recognizing that interactivity is the holy grail of online education. What we're looking for today is 180K to round out our pre-seed phase for this automate and ignite work that we're doing right now, which will bring us to our fall seed round. And if there's any questions, I am happy to entertain them.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. That's a super compelling product, and I'm interested to learn more. Some of us recognize you from the last TNT in the fall. Do you want to walk us through the process of, because you made a bit of a pivot or a reiteration of where LevellingUp is targeted? Do you want to walk us through how you guys came to that and where you realized this market?
For sure. So yeah, we were in this leadership vertical and actually doing really well pre-COVID. We were seeing month over month revenue growth, helping mid-career corporate managers, refining our platform and our product offering. That corporate vertical basically crashed thanks to COVID. They said, look, you're great, but I can't justify leadership training. We tested 6 different market verticals, one of which was the vertical of my co-founder, Julie. She said, I think my people will like this. In August, we offered our first 2 mentorship groups in this space, and the rest is history. It took off like a rocket.
That's awesome. What a great story, Mike. Appreciate it. With that, I'll kick it back to you there, John.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Mike. I'm really wondering how heavy that dumbbell is behind you, because that looks it looks like that counter can't even support it.
That one sits empty at about 75 pounds. You can load her up to over a couple of 100 pounds. It's called a circus dumbbell. It's a strongman event.
Holy smokes. That is remarkable indeed. Well, thank you for that, Mike. Certainly nice to see your strength in art. Okay, on to our next folks, Cherry Health. This is really neat, especially, a couple of folks have mentioned the pandemic. Healthcare is a major focus undoubtedly across the world right now. And Cherry Health actually solves a problem for healthcare providers. Something that I had to look up, which I found out was really just temps for medical providers. But Jordan, are you with us?
I am here. Thanks, John.
Awesome. I will turn it over to you. If you want to get your slides going, you are good to go, and razzle and dazzle us.
All right, is that showing up?
It is.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
All right, awesome. Thanks, John. So I'm Dr. Jordan Ballrath, the CEO of Cherry Health. I work as a locum, which is just Latin for substitute doctor. There's a huge shortage of us locums to cover for other physicians out there. You would think that with this huge supply-demand mismatch acting in my favor, that it would be a cakewalk finding jobs, but it's not. We're in high demand, but arranging work is a nightmare because there's no central system for it. Current solutions range from cost prohibitively expensive to free but ineffective. I have to regularly check like 25 different Facebook groups, websites, and even printed magazines to find jobs. Or alternatively, clinics have to pay a headhunter thousands of dollars to come find me. As a result, clinics can't find doctors, nobody can take vacation, and everyone is overworked. Consequently, we have the highest rates of burnout and over double the national average for suicides. The same problem affects all of my not easily replaced colleagues like pharmacists, dentists, and chiropractors, just to name a few. To solve this, Cherry Health has created a centralized, self-serve employment opportunity network. To be clear, this isn't just some marginal process improvement. This is something our system desperately needs. In fact, the Canadian Medical Association just awarded us a $100,000 grant for coming up with a solution. We wanted it to be fast and engaging, so we built a mobile app instead of a website. To make it stand out, we designed it like a dating service rather than a job board. To make it trustworthy, we incorporated ratings and reviews. To make it accessible to the masses, we completely reimagined the business model. And to make it sticky, we built a community instead of a service. Recruiting and staffing for Canada's 800,000 licensed medical professionals is $1 billion industry every year. We launched in Alberta last summer and already have over 9% of the province's family physicians registered. 1/3 of our users are active monthly, and over a quarter came to us organically through word of mouth. Last month, we expanded our operations to now also include British Columbia as well. How do we make money? So the burnt out professionals get to arrange temporary jobs for free, as many as they want, no limits, fill your boots. But we get them to fill out short, non-intrusive surveys in our app. We get paid, they have zero financial barriers to solving their own burnout epidemic, and our funnel of incoming highly skilled professionals remains wide open. It's a win-win. And then, since everyone is already on our platform, we also make money recruiting people to permanent job openings, including for their office staff, assistants, hygienists, and technicians. As for the team, you have myself, our interface with the healthcare system, Dr. Maximilian Kurz with his PhD in machine learning and previous experience as a health tech founder who has us covered on the product side, and Adrian Mitchell with his dual master's degree in both business and health data science, including 20 years business experience, who is leading our operations. We're looking to raise $600,000 to grow our development team, ramp up our marketing and sales, and breach into new market segments. This will enable us to become self-propelled by the end of next year and facilitate rapid growth, enabling us to get to almost $4 million in annual revenue by 2024. Thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to answering some questions.
Thanks, Jordan. That was great. A great pitch and a little bit of Latin lessons in there. That's awesome. So the first question is from Matt Wilson. He's wondering, is there anything like this in the USA?
So the US is very different. They're dominated by these gigantic billion-dollar recruiting agencies, essentially. In Canada, right now, it's a free-for-all. Like there's just a ton of white space. So it's not quite comparable.
So, and you're expanding, I saw, into multiple provinces, including Ontario here this year. So beyond that, are better analogs for expansion like the UK and Australia and New Zealand that have more similar healthcare systems to us for future growth?
Exactly. Right. The plan for now is to expand longitudinally within Canada to start covering all the allied health. So nursing, pharmacy technicians, all the downstream staffing too, like dentists. Like a busy dentist clinic, almost every second day, they have a temporary hygienist coming in. So we can really start going deeper into Canada.
That's great. Awesome. We'll do one final question. Is there an impact, Alessandro is asking, is there an impact on a doctor's career for using this as his way of making money?
So I myself, I work as a temporary doc. It's awesome. Like it's flexible. There's low responsibility. It's really popular amongst the new grads while you're kind of feeling out what you want to do. And so by making it more accessible to people, I think we can really start bridging that supply demand gap just by enabling more people to do it, because it's a really fun way to practice.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Jordan. I'll kick it back to you there, John.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Neil. It is that time of the night where we've passed the first quarter, which means it's time for me to put on my Mr. Pickle Pants, which is the next one I'll be trying from Outcast. It is actually slightly less potent than the last at 7% and a hazy IPA. So looking forward to indulging as we get to our next presenter. Have you ever been to a concert or a show and you just, someone asked you later, what was it like? What was that moment where were you during the golden goal of Sidney Crosby? What was it like being at that Bruce Springsteen concert? Fanoramas solves that problem. They're here to tell you a little bit more about that. Jamie, are you with us?
Hey, everybody, I'm here.
Right on. Well, I am super pumped, obviously, as a big fan, and I'm looking forward to the day we can get out and be fans again. Jamie, fill us in on your presentation. Do you have your slides ready to go?
I sure do. I'm just trying to share here. 1 second.
No problem. The Pickle Pants is delicious.
Are you guys seeing that in full screen?
We are not in full screen, but it's up. That's full screen now. Perfect. Jamie, the floor is yours.
Good stuff. Awesome. So hi, everybody. I'm Jamie Wood, COO and co-founder of Fanoramas. Fanoramas is a fan photography platform that captures fans' epic reactions at big events. So we are creating new revenue streams for teams and offer sponsors a new channel for fan engagement. And there has never been a better time to invest in the fan experience and in sports tech, because the world is going to reopen and fans can't wait to get back to events. Pre-COVID, we proved our technology in several market trials, including events with Hockey Canada, the German Hockey Federation, and even a bull riding event here in Calgary. In March of last year, we were establishing contracts for paid pilots, including a project with the Calgary Flames, and we were over in the UK at Man City Football Club, speccing their stadium for an implementation, which was partially funded by IRAP. And just this week, I've been informed that Peterborough United has officially written Fanoramas into their fan engagement strategy. Our go-to-market timing is ideal now because teams and leagues are motivated to find new revenue streams and to build relationships with fans after suffering epic losses during this pandemic. And sponsors require measurable activations that differentiate their brand now, capture fan attention, and reach far beyond the venue. You can think of our system like a personalized Jumbotron. Fans receive dozens of photos during the event, and teams and sponsors can embed surveys, offers, and messaging in a fan's personal feed. So we're really coming up as the next generation of in-venue technology to support the digital fan experience. And the time is now to rekindle our hottest leads. We are negotiating with the New Jersey Devils for an installation next season. And I seriously hope our first deal is with the Devils. So how do we make money? The primary revenue stream is through sponsorship activation. Secondary revenue includes fan keepsakes and data monetization. In the next 12 to 18 months, we will expand to 10 indoor multi-use venues, which will give us exposure to a combined average attendance of 8 million fans and drive upwards of 4 million in revenue. We're opening our seed round to investors, raising 500,000 on a convertible note. And the first 150,000 will go towards setting up and delivering our first customer. And our plan for the first 150 is to leverage this money to build more runway with grant matching and SR&ED tax credits. And because this initial investment will get us our first customer, we can also account for revenue. So all of that combined will enable us to turn 150K into just over 900K. So thanks Startup TNT for the turbo boost. We look forward to telling you more about our team and our channel partners and our operation throughout the summit. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Jamie. What an exciting market to be in. Kyle Kanofsky, a great salesperson, has a sales-related question, and he's wondering, how do you plan to accelerate team and league adoption? Obviously, you're looking at a market that has really long sales cycles. How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, so team and league adoption, really what we see in so many sports is that a successful project with one team will accelerate a rollout across a particular league. So our focus is to go deep in one particular area. So for example, with Man City Football Club, a successful pilot there could take us globally out of the gate because they've got 9 clubs worldwide. Likewise with New Jersey, this is really about establishing a network effect. So if we're in New Jersey, we automatically have access to both the NHL and an NCAA basketball team. So that would give us legs to open conversations there. So it's really about establishing a network and then exploiting and leveraging the connections within that. And the other part to that is also celebrity building and finding our key network opportunities with people who can actually bring us in at the celebrity level as well. And we've got some established partnerships in that space that we're working on.
That's great, Jamie. Well, thanks so much for your time. And Mr. John, it's back to you.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate that. Very exciting and certainly reminiscent of when we can all get back together in person. Something that I'm certainly looking forward to as well. Great presentation. On to our next presenter. I checked out, Neil, I checked out your website, and I have to say, certainly one of the best websites for a neophyte like myself. It told me not only what you do, but the process of why it's helpful to me. And I think that you got the gold standard in terms of taking someone like me along for the ride. Really interesting product. Really excited to hear your pitch. Neil, are you here?
I am.
Right on. Sawback, Neil, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, sir. So, hi, my name is Neil, obviously. I'm the founder of Sawback Technologies, and we're currently working on a solution to help prevent accidental pipeline strikes during excavations. Our construction and energy customers have talked to us about finding a way to address the 47,000 excavation accidents that are reported annually that damages some of the 5.3 millions of kilometers of pipelines at approximately the cost of $300,000 per incident. And what they're also looking for is a way to reduce the weeks of downtime that's actually needed to analyze the data collected by near surface sensors, which has a significant impact on engineering and construction schedules. Both of these problems are often a result of not being able to collect and analyze data quickly, as the existing solutions rely on technology that is heavy and slow, and is actually really expensive to use for large areas, and often takes skilled technicians days, if not weeks, of effort to analyze the data before projects can actually start. Our solution is light enough to be used on a drone, carried by personnel, or installed on earth-moving equipment, and can see roughly 2 meters beneath the surface, providing accurate location and depth information for objects commonly found at this critical depth. The collected information is then analyzed by our software, where we quickly and accurately deliver a visual report that our clients can use within hours instead of days. This means our energy clients can check a 1 kilometer pipeline right away in a matter of days instead of the usual 4 weeks. Transportation clients can identify exactly where those leaking water mains are without having to shut down busy streets. And our construction clients, which includes a tier 1 excavator manufacturer, can use our solution on their excavator equipment to avoid becoming one of those $300,000 pipeline incidents, or even worse, a fatality. We are offering our solution on a recurring subscription basis to our clients, so their own personnel can use our solution to collect the data on their own time and schedule. This data then gets sent up to the platform, or Sawback platform, where our proprietary analytics software generates accurate and reliable reports within hours instead of days and weeks, allowing construction schedules to be kept on time and workers safe from buried hazards. We are starting our paid pilot projects within the energy, utilities, and surveying sectors by early summer. And with each project, the results will allow us to close sales on the 25 clients within our sales pipeline, and as well as demonstrating what our cost savings and side-by-side comparisons against the older technology solutions will be. While the technology itself's been around for several decades, innovation in this space has been stagnant. Despite a clear need from the market, the competition has been slow in adapting, giving us the opportunity to enter the market quickly and building our market lead. With the development of the solution completed, we are quickly approaching commercialization and are fundraising for our go-to-market phase. We have signed a lead investor, and we are currently looking for additional investors to provide coaching, contacts, and financing. If you can help us, please reach out and connect with us via LinkedIn or by email. Thanks.
Thanks, Neil. That was great. And at 2 minutes and 58 seconds, that you have that nailed. So Edon is wondering, do you guys have a prototype unit in hand yet?
We do. It's actually currently undergoing lab testing. So I've got my 2 engineers busy doing the integration and running the electronics testing as we speak.
That's great. Another question is the hardware is obviously really compelling. And do you want to tell us a little bit about the status of the SaaS aspect? I think you're using some of your use of funds for development of that.
Yes. So essentially with the hardware phase out of the way, we're obviously going to be carrying out the pilot projects just with the MVP hardware. And the idea is to use those data sets to start the essentially the testing of the solution, the software as a service platform, which is where the analytics comes into play. So essentially our clients will be able to collect their own data, send it up to the cloud, and they can do essentially whatever they want. And what we found during our market validation is the clients that want the ability to do it when they have a chance and not so much rely on other people to do it, as well as being able to implement this in various sites or whatever projects they have going on. So again, everything is under their control. So we just basically capitalize on the monthly recurring revenue for that.
That's great. Okay, we got one more question. Last one from Prab is he's wondering if your solution integrates with large ERP systems that companies already have in place.
That's actually a really great question. So no, the long term, yes, that would be the plan. But currently, from a short term perspective, we don't plan on doing integration because we're really trying to essentially establish our beachhead with the product that we have.
Absolutely, great. Thanks, Neil, for your time. And with that, John, back to you.
Thanks so much, Neil and other Neil. You guys can decide later who's other Neil and who's Neil 1 and Neil 2. Everyone's Neils. All Neils are the same on this. Great job. The next presenter really put his heart into things. It's clear to see, and I'm very excited, particularly in the area of biomedical, which we can all agree is certainly something that has a lot of runway, particularly now. Alessandro, are you there?
Yeah, I am now. Sorry, I had the microphone off.
No problem.
Yeah. And let me share the screen. Okay, I think, can you see it?
Yes, we can. You're good to go, sir.
Okay, I'll try to stay in the 3 minutes because it's not easy given the complexity of the thing. But anyway, okay, so I'm Alessandro Biglioli. I'm the CEO of Elsios. We are a Calgary-based company that does an ECMO system. So ECMO stands for extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. It's basically a system that takes the blood from a patient heart, it pumps it, oxygenates it, and in real time puts it back in. This takes some of the load out of the cardiopulmonary system. So it helps patients that have problems with their lungs or their heart. It's basically artificial lung, artificial heart put together. So why it's not used more is because there are 3 main issues. One is the fact that doctors need to use a lot of blood thinners that come with a lot of side effects. Then there's a versatility issue. You go from, let's say, premature babies to elderly patients. And then the other one is transportation. Right now, one of the big uses for ECMO is in emergency, and all the ECMO systems on the market are basically non-transportable. So we try to address that. We work with a lot of institutions, as you can see here, government mostly, but also some accelerator, incubator, you name it. We participated in different competitions all over the world, also in different let's say, difficult places like China or Japan, where the technology was well received. We work with the Air Force a little bit on a small grant in the United States. And we have a clinical advisory board, which is worldwide recognized. People, as you can see, from Taiwan. There's a doctor in Calgary, which is the head of the ICU at Foothills, Korea, China, Germany, wherever, right? But what I want to say is why ECMO is used is because the impact on patients. I mean, I have some examples here. This is a lady that needed a lung transplant because had a really virulent infection, and the doctors had to take her lungs out, and she lived for 6 days without lungs. So she was kept alive by the ECMO machine. This is a guy who basically froze to death, was found after 10 hours. The temperature was -24. He was found with no pulse, no cerebral activity, 12 degrees body temperature, and he did a full recovery. He lost his fingers, unfortunately, but he's still alive. This is a guy that basically was rescued on Mount Rainier. His heart stopped for 45 minutes in the emergency room and was hooked up on an ECMO machine, and they were able to bring him back. And finally, this is a kid that was found at the bottom of a lake after 41 minutes underwater. As you can see, he did a full recovery. So where do the patients come from? From emergency, post-cardiac surgery in general, or any other invasive surgery, pediatric patient like premature babies, and respiratory patient, in general ECMO. So this is let's say the food for thought with I would like to leave you with. So at this time of writing, 55% of the COVID-19 patients that were placed on ECMO survived, and those are patients that there was no other treatment that was working, so nothing was working, ventilator, whatever. 55% survived. There's no Canadian ECMO company working on it, and there's no Canadian ECMO. Same thing for China, which is a much bigger market. It's a favorable market because there's a severe worldwide shortage of ECMO systems, potentially very big. Is expanding constantly due to old age and pollution, which is one of the drivers. And then we say our system was created to address the shortcomings that we've seen. We have a very extremely experienced team. This is my 13th company. Let's say my biggest success, if you want a reference, is a company called Carbon Engineering. I've been involved always in companies that I think will have a wide impact on people. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks, Alessandro. We're at 4.5 minutes here, so I just got one quick question here. So just to give us a sense as to what the market is like, how many ECMO machines would be in a health region or hospital or something like that? Can you just put a little context around that?
So you have two parts, right? One part is a machine, and the other part is a disposable cartridge, which is this one that you have here. So one patient will go through 2 to 7 of these cartridges. So I would say in a year there are about 100,000 patients that undergo ECMO. That was before COVID-19 in the world. That's worldwide. This is a worldwide product. In Calgary, in Canada, let's say in Alberta, there are about 500 per year, roughly.
Great, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Alessandro. We're out of time here now, but lots of questions in the chat there. And back to you there, John.
That's true, Neil. We are almost out of time. Neil and I are actually, after this last presentation, going to be handing it off to the next set of hosts, and it's probably good considering the consumption that I've had. I don't think I'm legally permitted to host anymore, although I don't know if there's standards for that, but if there are, I'm sure I've passed them. Nonetheless, great presentation. Really looking forward to our the last one before our intermission. Kaylin, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Awesome. Upful, Kaylin, the floor is yours, my friend. I'll give you a sec to get your slides going.
Awesome.
Right on. Over to you.
Should be good. Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Kaylin Bolin. I'm a recent Cornell graduate. I'm a co-founder here at Upful. And we're an up-and-coming fintech company based here right in the prairies. And what we're allowing these consumers who are beginner to intermediate stock traders to come our application to learn with virtual money and win real money. So when tackling the problems, I mean, people such as myself who attended high school, university, we're not properly trained about actually how to invest. Secondly, low income is a huge barrier into the market. In order to see capital gains that are actually going to suffice, you at least put $10,000 into the market. I simply do not have that money. And then thirdly, in order to actually get meaningful experience within the market, you have to actually be placed in the market to learn and adapt. So what's the solution here? We'll offer a platform that has a fully live linked API to the market that allows users to learn and socialize and earn cash with minimal risk. So currently we have a product on the iOS App Store It's a simple UI UX that shows your portfolio. It shows your portfolio gain. You can buy and sell stocks. We don't have a shorting feature just quite yet, but we also have features such as screening and also live and up-to-date news articles on specific companies. Moving forward into the upcoming product, the way that this application is going to work, it's a subscription basis. It's $6.99 a month, and we're fully linking it up to the consumer's PayPal account, which you'll just find out in a second why we're doing that. And we also have a social feature, which allows you to directly communicate with other investors within the application. So moving on here, yes, so we have daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and 6-month competitions, and you get paid out at every single one of these competitions. And you get paid out through PayPal by the end of every single month. And here we're just featuring to see the leaderboards here, where you can see exactly where you place within each and every single competition. For the free version, you will not be getting paid out, but if you subscribe, you can reap the rewards. And we have both a light version, also dark mode here. So we're starting off with the gamification, and this is where we're incentivizing young traders to come on our platform to learn their strategy and win real money. What we're doing is pulling together talent. We want them to grow with our application, and where we can transition this into is to more of a fintech platform where it's similar to eToro, where you can actually use the talent within our application to enable copy trading. And then we also have enterprise solutions. Since we are pulling together all this talent, brokerages can seek talent through our application. And the competitive landscape, we're not your we're not your stock trading competition game. And I know that's what it sounds like right now, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to pull together as much talent as possible. So our competitive advantages, well, one, everyone has a chance to win money. Most of these stock trading games, they allow the first place winner to actually get this money. The second is that we're a social hub. We want investors to connect with each other. And thirdly, we're actively curating young talent, within our application to lead their lives in a successful trading position. So this is Upful. Thank you. And what we're doing is we're building talent for the future.
Awesome, thanks, Kaylan. That's great. And like I said, with Spot Dog Walking, I love a demo and a pitch. So that was great. Tim is wondering, does this land under legislation like DraftKings and other betting platforms, or where does your product land in that regard? And this actually does not. We're actually very, very similar to, I don't know if you know Investly or Vestly, Vestfly. These applications are, again, like a stock trading game. This is just the foundation of our application, but no, this does not fall into that. And then another question from Miles. He says, super cool. And what's the criteria for the competitions? Is the highest returns, is the best strategy, and what time frames? And will this encourage short-term risky bets versus longer-term, more sound investing principles?
And that's actually a great, actually a great question. That's why we're baking in multiple competitions here, because you can either do position trading or day trading. So that whether you're long-term or short-term, you're going to reap rewards. So with that being said, great question. And that's why we're actually doing the multi-tiered competitions.
Okay, great. And then one last question here is, if you're looking at some of the sort of free options in terms of investing, like Wealthsimple, Robinhood, and stuff like that, how are you going to compel people to use your platform and pay a subscription fee versus those folks?
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, those are robo-advisory services. And quite simply, a lot of millennials and Gen Zs are transferring to the application, but have actually no idea how to even trade on there. They're going to YouTube, searching up actually how to do it. But the way that we're going to be competing against them is that like all of them do not offer a copy trading system. That's something that eToro has been very successful. They actually just got valued at $10 billion. So that's the way that we're going to be going about this.
Great. Awesome. Thanks again, Kaylan. And for the last time, back to you there, John.
Great. Thanks to our first 10. That was an excellent presentation. We're going to turn it back now to Tim. But before we do, just wanted to say thanks again to all the entrepreneurs that have put forth their pitches. Thanks for the opportunity to host you. And if you need commercial real estate, make sure you look up CBRE and give us a shout. Over to you, Tim.
John, Neil, smashing it as host. This is awesome. I'm glad that I was able to take a step back. This is perfect. And of course, entrepreneurs. That was amazing. I'm shocked and impressed at the talent coming out of Calgary. This is gonna be a hard process for the investors here. This is gonna be fun. To that point, we got a 15-minute break. 9 minutes. We're gonna come back at 5:20. We're opening up a few breakout rooms, give it a little bit of a break. We're gonna have 20 breakout rooms for the 20 companies. You're able to go and hang out with them. You can either, of course, hang out with the companies that you've seen already, or roll the dice, hang out with one of the companies that you haven't seen yet. We're gonna have a few minutes here, and I'll stop talking, and you guys can choose your breakout room and hang out with the folks that you want to see. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, quick thing. Whoever's hitting close breakout rooms, please stop it. All right. Looks like we're back in action. Everybody's back here having a time. Hope you guys enjoyed the quick break, whether you hung out with some companies or quick walk, whatever makes you go. But we're back. We got another 10 companies lined up, ready to go. We're only halfway through this extravaganza. I know it's been an hour and a little bit and change, but here we're halfway through. But before we get a little bit farther down the line here, it's t-shirt time. We got some startup TNT trivia coming at you live. Hope you remember the stats that I told you a little earlier when we kicked this thing off. First person to type the correct answer into the Zoom chat is going to win a t-shirt. And we'll figure out the logistics a little later. You'll email me if you're the right person. But get ready get your keyboard hot. We're ready to go here. All right. First question. How many companies in Alberta applied to the summit? We got Bill. I don't know Bill's last name, but he got it. 65. Bill, sending it. Good to go. Bill, hit me up at tim@startuptnt.com. We'll get you a t-shirt. All right. I like Mike's answer. Lots. Also true. Nailed it. All right. Second question. How many 4-packs of beer did we deliver across Alberta? Max Kurtz, 96. Cherry Health coming in clutch. There's the co-founder right there for you. All right, Max, hit me up. You know my email. Get you a t-shirt. You can rep it. This is awesome. I expect to see you at the next meeting, by the way. This is going to be great. Well, welcome back. You don't have to listen to me for very much longer. Don't worry. We have 2 awesome co-hosts coming up. We got Jade Alberts and Yasmin coming at you. Yasmin was our very first deal screening intern many weeks ago. It feels like it was forever ago. And time really flies when you count in weeks. So we're at week 104. I don't know when Yasmin was hanging out, but it was definitely in the double digits. She's now an analyst at the Accelerate Fund 3, which hopefully is going to be investing in everything that comes through here, right? Yeah, I see you nodding. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we hope so.
It's an early stage venture fund that's invested in both of our TNT Summit alumni from Edmonton, and hopefully many more to come. And for those of you from Calgary, I'm sure you don't need to know Jade Alberts, or you already know Jade. You don't need an introduction, or as we like to call him, Jade Alberta. This guy knows everybody. He's everywhere all the time. He's here to help everybody. We're lucky to have him on our investment team and to have him co-hosting. So Jade, Yasmin, take it away.
Sounds good, Tim. Thanks so much for that intro. You've done the work for me. This is great. I mean, you want to keep rolling along? No worries. We've got it here. So as Tim said, I don't need to do much more of an intro. My name is Yasmin. I'm from Accelerate Fund. And yeah, 6 months ago, I was on the other side, behind the scenes at TNT, organizing all this stuff, making sure breakout rooms were going well and everyone's speakers were on and whatnot, which was a ton of fun. And I'm very happy to be on the other side today. So this is great. Thanks so much for everyone to be here. And I mean, I don't know how John does 2 beers in that time frame. I'm only on my first, so here we go. Jay, do you want to say anything before we get started?
Sure, I'm happy to be here. I'm kind of camera shy, so we'll see how this goes. I love working in the ecosystem. I've been investing for some time, and I'm not drinking beer. I got mine over there ready for later, but I got a nice little whiskey going here, so that's my drinky poo that I'll sip on for the next hour.
I love it. We should all call them drinky poos from now on too. That is a standard. All right, so to get things going, let's jump right in. So first up, to kick us off into our second half, we have Stephen Wensley here to talk about Acuspire, which is an automated recruiter built to help connect candidates with the right employment. So Stephen, take it away.
Thank you, Yasmin. Super grateful to be here today. So yeah, I'm Stephen Wensley, founder and CEO of Acuspire. Our company's vision is a future without job search. And what led me here today is just some really painful personal experiences that I had, my wife had, as well as many friends and family, where we actually had no success in the traditional job search process. And even through 2021, people are still experiencing severe pain points. So we really wanted to make an impact on what we believe is the biggest obstacle to humanity moving forward. And so what we created was an AI-assisted job search and analytics software to power reemployment programs. And we're focused for the near term in Canada. So the difficulties for these organizations is it's very time consuming. There's major reporting challenges in terms of providing analytics to the government to get those renewals of funding. And there's very high cost to employ the dozens to hundreds of people involved in these programs across the country. So our system actually provides them with automated checking of the entire job market 24/7. So these reemployment organizations, now they finally have the leverage that they need, and they're able to service their job seeker and employer clients more effectively. And in fact, their employers that are vetted and given access get real-time access to their resume bank. So the way our system works is a resume is uploaded, our AI engine scans the entire job market, and the job developer is connected with the employer. So at this point in time, we've all heard of the issues in unemployment in Canada. There's 1.5 million Canadians now on the market, and that's a 32% increase compared with 2020. So it's a huge issue, and that's why the time is right for us to really move. It's still, in the best of times, takes 16 weeks to find a new job. And this is just way too long for most people who are actually within days to weeks of being insolvent. Actually, 53% of the country is $200 away from insolvency. So we've, in the past year, signed 3 major enterprise deals. We passed 100,000 total users registered, and we're actually a big data company. The market size is tremendous. It's $500 billion globally. However, we're focused in the near term on the Canadian market, like I mentioned. Our go-to-market strategy is essentially continuing on with strategies that have already been working and performing, delivering sales for us. And our competition is really the traditional process of searching a job board and then spreadsheets and email, versus our system matching thousands of people in seconds across Canada. Our business model is enterprise software licensing, or SaaS. So we sign 1 to 3 year contracts, and these are fairly high dollar figures because we're helping dozens to hundreds of staff at these organizations. Our financial projections are based on us essentially raising a round of financing and then just scaling up what we already have working. So to reach the next levels of scale, we're currently in the process of closing $500,000 in financing to really get us through to the next stages of growth to actually qualify for a real venture capital round in the next 12 to 24 months. So we have an all-star team, people that really live and breathe this problem, and our investor and advisor team are just really world-class. They've already scaled up huge companies, raised tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And we have investors and advisors from within the reemployment industry itself actually helping us on a regular basis. So we really have what it takes to get to the next level. But yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. My contact info is here. I welcome any follow-up after this event today as well, of course. So yeah, looking forward to hearing from the audience. I see there's a few.
Great job, Stephen. There's no questions in there right now, but I know I have a few. I mean, you have an impressive list on there with James and Hanif. Do you got access to them? Do they help you out? Have they been investors?
Yeah, so Hanif is a current investor and advisor. Actually, I've got a meeting booked with him on Sunday for an advice session. And James actually referred our very first enterprise customer to us, which is Calgary Economic Development in the early days. So, they help us whenever they can. And then, some of our other investors are, very actively involved. One of them, actually, he's taking a few weeks off to help us over the summer. So, they're very like roll up your sleeves kind of involvement.
No, absolutely. There's another question in here, and then I got one more that I want to ask you. So how much faster would finding a new job be compared to the 16-week average?
Yeah, there's so many factors in the process, and it really varies depending on the market you're in. Like if you're in Didsbury versus Calgary, there's a difference. we're really just getting a baseline of measurement in place at all the organizations right now. So we've started tracking this just a few weeks ago. However, we've had with one organization, they had a placement happening every 2 days within the first 6 weeks. So that was a phenomenal success. They actually said they did 4 times their quota for the whole quarter in the first 6 weeks. So that was an improvement for them, and we were quite satisfied based on that feedback.
Perfect. We got 10 seconds left. I want to get this out there because you did one of the most impressive fundraising campaigns I've ever seen when you were out there. You videographed your journey, and it was absolutely outstanding. I highly recommend anybody do it. But how much money did you raise from that?
So we had verbal and written commitments for the full amount, which is astounding. But verbal commitments are verbal commitments, as you know. We're still, I literally sent out DocuSigns for the full amount, and I have 3 investors that have not gotten back to me. So that's the game we're in, right? Like we really have to chase things down in this business, whether it's getting a sale closed or getting an investor closed. So that's why I'm here today, really, is
Absolutely.
just keeping things open-ended, getting more competition for our round.
Perfect. And there's a few more questions. You can go in there and answer them in the chat, and that would be great. And back to you, Yasmin.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much. That was a great presentation. We're off to a great start for the second half, so no pressure. Next entrepreneurs. No, just kidding. All good. So please help me welcome virtually our next speaker. We have Dustin Poole from Mycorize. So the floor is yours, Dustin. Let's see if you can get that screen share up and going.
Thank you. Okay. Is that working?
Yeah, we can see it, just not in full screen, but it's up.
Okay, perfect. All right, there we go. All right, well, thank you. My name's Dustin Poole. I'm one of the co-founders of Mycorize. We are a technology mushroom company, and oh boy, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, we'll start when you're ready. We'll start you over.
All right, sorry about that. Are you seeing it in presenter view or full screen?
No, we can see the mushrooms for health slide.
Okay, perfect. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Sorry, everyone. So my name is Dustin Poole. I'm one of the co-founders of Mycorize. We are a mushroom technology company focused on growing mushrooms and developing new technologies for the mushroom industry. A few years ago, my interest in sustainable building materials and the preservation of our forests gave me the idea to look at growing building materials out of mushrooms. So I went to approach my friend Andrew, who is experienced in farming and growing mushrooms, and asked him if he could help me figure out how to do this. From there, this opened up a whole new world of opportunities and possibilities of what could be done with mushrooms, and a realization as to how unexplored this industry is. So I would quickly learn that mushrooms are sustainability kings. They are some of the most sustainable crops that you can grow on the planet. There's no need for pesticides, herbicides, or any harsh chemicals, and you can pretty much grow them anywhere on the planet, which means they're exceptionally beneficial for urban centers that need, dense food production, as well as medical supplies, as far as new types of medicines for chronic diseases and other.
Dustin, are you trying to move your slides forward?
No.
Oh, you're just supposed to stay on the number 1 slide here?
Oh, no, I'm on number 2.
Okay, it didn't move.
Oh. Nothing's moving?
Nothing's moving.
Weird. I'm on slide 3.
We can only see slide 1, unfortunately.
Okay. Let's see. Weird. Zoom is telling me that I'm on slide 3.
Yeah, I would try to maybe stop your share and then boot it up again. Maybe see if that old unplug, replug works.
Did that change anything?
We can see the speaker notes now. Kind of your view, I guess.
I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, sorry
That's all
everyone.
good.
Is that working now?
There's no screen share right now on our end.
Is it working now?
We can see your kind of notes view again.
Oh. Sorry, everybody.
No worries. No worries at all.
I don't know why it won't let me present normally.
Maybe the psychedelic mushrooms are kicking in for the computer. Well, here, why don't we can always come back. We'll hopefully meet. Why don't we get some time for you to figure it out, Dustin, and then we'll come back to you at the end. Is that why don't we do it that way? Is that all right, Yasmin?
Sorry, everyone.
Oh yeah, okay. Everyone's okay with that. All right.
Okay.
Next up, you're sooner than later. Okay. So, if you've lived in Edmonton, if more than a week, you'll know that the weather literally changes on a dime. So let's hear from Hamid at Alealabs on how his company can help regulate in-home temperatures, your air quality, and even have some energy savings involved. So Hamid, take it away. And sorry for that, it's a little early, but good luck to you.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm Hamid Farzaneh, and over the years, I've been associated with startups, most of them cross-border, and mainly US-Canada cross-border. One IPO exit, multiple M&As. Alia is based in Silicon Valley in Calgary. We have 90% of our team in Calgary, where we're planning a 200 to 300% growth annually. The great news of 2021 is that the US is back in the Paris Agreement. And there's a very strong commitment from the Biden administration to fight climate change. And that will include a major push for electrification. And there will be a lot of billions of dollars invested in that, in both more clean power, but also in more conservation. A little known fact is that the residential heating and cooling uses half of the energy that a home uses, and residential in total uses over 20% of the total energy that the US is using. And most homes use central forced air for heating and cooling, which is another unknown fact, which is a very inefficient system because of the poor air distribution. So our opportunity is really to optimize air distribution and to be able to not only make homes more comfortable, but also to save a lot of energy. Key, of course, is that the households must be interested enough to buy in. And the good news is that we know exactly what they want. And we can provide them exactly that. So we can give them complete control over their environmental comfort, their air quality, their energy consumption, with a payback that will be measured in months rather than in years. How do we do that? Well, it's really a combination of data and the machine learning. We can only manage what we can measure. So because of that, we have a lot of sensors embedded into the different components of our system, which includes the vents, the gateway, and the controller. And we also get a lot of data from other sources, as well as other devices throughout the house. Once that were broadly adopted, or technology similar to ours is broadly adopted, the impact will be huge. And just for the US, that will be reducing the CO2 emission by 250 million tons annually. Our addressable market is very large, 140 million homes in North America, and our immediate obtainable market is 6 million homes that we're pursuing with our partner, OCOS. OCOS works with utilities and offers turnkey systems with subscriptions. That means that with a $20 to $30 a monthly subscription, people can install the Elias system in their homes and start saving and being more comfortable. Our business in general is B2B2C, and we're working with other partners beyond OCOS. Our system has been validated by Amazon, working closely with them, and we're the only event company that's part of the Alexa Energy Dashboard solution. And we have also been validated by KB Home, which is the 5th largest residential builder in the US. Our platform roadmap, we start with a turnkey hardware and software offering. And over time, we plan to license the hardware and really focus more on data and software as a service. We have multiple strategic advantages, and we're also in a very strong competitive differentiation position. Financially, we are launching, as I said, in the second half of this year. And by 2023, we're projecting that we'll be both very profitable and also cash flow positive. Our ask, $500,000 for the purpose of accelerating revenues and accelerating development, and also positioning us for a larger round later this year or early next year at a higher valuation. Thank you.
All right. Well, that went 4.5 minutes. So we have a couple questions here. Hamid, good job. Is this, I guess, is it marketed for retrofits home? Is it hard to retrofit a home with all these sensors?
No. Well, it's for both for retrofit and for new homes. Okay. And for retrofit, it takes typically about an hour per home to retrofit. It can be do it yourself, or it can be done by a technician.
And are you actually selling the hardware itself, like the vents and the other things like that, or just the sensors, or are you?
No, we sell the whole solution. So essentially, that's a hardware, that's all the data management behind it, and so on.
Okay, great job, Hamid. Please, there's a few more questions in the chat. Please go in and answer them. And Yasmin, back to you.
All right, thanks so much for that great presentation. And wow, an impressive bunch so far. So let's keep this train going. Next, we have Tracecost, a platform helping construction projects reduce their costs, manage their processes, and even utilize predictive analytics. So up next and presented by Prab, the floor is yours. You can share your screen and go ahead.
All right, super, thank you. You see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, so allow me to start with a question to this community. What do you think, which industry contributes to 50% of climate change and equally responsible for landfill waste? Well, if you haven't guessed it yet, it is the infrastructure and construction globally. Well, on the dark side, the global construction market, which is at currently $10.6 trillion, bleeds annually up to 30% due to mismanagement and inefficiency. Now, on the brighter side, while this industry is predicted to grow at 50% in next decade, the digital technology usage is predicted to grow by 15 to 18%. Hi, I'm Prab, an architect and master's in strategic management. Along with 2 more co-founders that are technology and real estate professionals, we founded Tracecost. Now, at its core, Tracecost is about solving a problem and reducing error by reliably offloading manual work done by a human to a machine. The goal is to reduce the time consumed to repetitive routine work and increase the predictability of results. We believe that this solution is indispensable for the construction industry. Departments working in silos in large infrastructure and construction projects frequently lead to workers spending more time searching and aggregating information than actually working. At present, Tracecost, with 20+ team members, offers a comprehensive collaborative platform as a SaaS product, which is active on 120 projects globally. To name a few projects, what you see on your screen right now, for example, a large residential development in Dubai, to an expressway roadway project in Ethiopia, a water dam project in Mongolia, to a new shipyard project in Goa, India, are all the active projects where Tracecost is active and is being used as a comprehensive platform. Now, the platform that we talk about is Green Julian and fundamentally improved for project management experience, both from an internal and a client-facing perspective, allowing them to provide full transparency to the owners along with the project vendors, all stakeholders inclusive. The SaaS-based application works on web, mobile, or any other handheld device. The solution is a robust, secure, and intuitive platform that takes a complex process, which usually construction projects are, and we've made it simple and streamlined. We are present, at present, we are pro revenue with customers that are construction giant companies with a combined revenue of more than $1 billion. We are at present headquartered in Alberta and Calgary with support from Platform Calgary. We have also set up a team for machine learning now here and have added this as the latest feature in our comprehensive platform. We at present have filed for 1 patent for our unique workflows within the system. Today, from this community, we have 3 key asks. First, we seek partnerships with large consulting companies such as Makenzie, Deloitte, or any other who've been active in the construction space. Second, further introduction to senior project team members at large construction companies such as PCL, Ledco, or any other similar companies is going to be a great connect for us. Third, for scaling our market acquisitions, we seek to raise capital, and we will be keen to take the discussion offline. Gentlemen, remember, this construction project automation is no more a luxury. It is a necessity. Reduce cost errors with Tracecost. Thank you.
Great job, Prab. I guess I do have one question. You say it's you're moving down to a simple yes or no question. So what type of work goes down to a yes or no question?
So typically, Jay, we've realized that a lot of people know what to do, but very seldom they don't know what not to do. And so therefore, what we do is basis the hierarchy in a large construction project. We divide the roles in such a way that you only cater to the assigned activities to you, and you're not bothered about 1,001 other activities within a project. So therefore, the process becomes too simplified. You only focus on a very small area and not anything else.
And I guess your goal is to kind of hit up all the big companies out there, starting in Alberta. Have you talked to them? Who's your competition?
So in terms of locally, there are not many companies within this domain, but globally, yes. You've got global players such as Procore. You've got solutions from Oracle and Microsoft as well. But at the behest of not sounding very lofty, they do have fragmented solutions for the space. And so therefore, what we're doing is getting all departments together, working on a single platform, which is simplified for everyone to understand.
Excellent. Great presentation. And if there's any more questions, Prab, please answer them in the chat section. And back to you.
All right. Thanks. Great pitch. That was awesome to hear. And I feel like there's a bit of a sustainability theme coming through this second half, which is great to hear. And it'll only be amplified with our next one coming up. So next, we're going to hear from someone with sustainability written all over their values. So Nigel Joseph, can you tell us a little bit more about MindFull Solutions? All right, I see your screen, but I don't hear you.
Sorry about that. I'd love to. Hello, everyone. My name is Nigel Joseph. I'm the CEO and founder of MindFull Solutions, Inc. And we create wearables and smart apparel to help you learn and be better than yesterday. It all started in 2011 when I was a lead athlete and I got sick. I never recovered, and I ended up in 2015 diagnosed with muscular dystrophy and lung fibrosis. At that point, I promised to myself that I would do things that I were passionate in, and one of them was moving. And I would go on the pursuit to figure out how I could do that best. In 2017, I ended up back on the track, competing against able-bodied athletes at the Harry Drum Classic in Vancouver, placing 4th. Now, my journey is no different than many others than you. And I think that how we live our lives is really to help others live theirs. And the similarities of my illness and back pain is the same, because it it's muscle dysfunction. 80% of us will suffer from back pain. And the WHO shares that it's not the prevalence of back pain that's the problem, it's how we treat the effects of back pain and not the root causes, nor do we look to try to prevent it. So our solution is a interesting one that combines something like a Fitbit with kinesiology tape to speak to the muscles with vibrations in the language that it uses, to cue muscle memory and to create sustainable movement posture. Now, the total accessible market is only $90 million for 2022, but we want to take a bite out of the global legging market and as well as the back pain, what people spend on back pain. So far, our traction is we started in 2020. We were able to connect with over 350 people. We were granted an Alberta innovation to create our prototype. We used Waterloo Technical Instruments to do so. And right now we're speaking with Canadian Sport Institute, as well as their division of sport product testing to validate what we currently found, so we can use it to create partnerships with companies such as RIU and Athletica down the road. Now, here's what we have. We're here to ask. And so our ask is to connect with people who want to be on the journey of being better than yesterday, looking for companies to collaborate with. We're looking for purpose-led investors. We're raising $200,000. And then last, we're looking to hire. And so if people out there that really care too much about others in the environment, we'd love to bring you on board too. Thank you so much.
Great job, Nigel. I love entrepreneurs that come up with an idea from a personal experience and create it into a company. So kudos to you. There's a couple questions in here. So is there a class for this device, if any, and do you need Health Canada approval?
Because it's a tool, there's no real class for it. And we would go with similarly to kinesiology tape. But because I'm a researcher at heart and by trade, I'm following the research focus of making sure that we have credible claims with institutions and universities, clinicians, and practitioners.
Okay. So you yourself said it's kind of a small market in this device with probably some big players. So how do you plan to get into that legging device with the Lulus of the world?
Well, I'm a product developer and a researcher, and I already have connected. I've worked on 3 industry reports with Adidas. I've done designs out there, so I already have those connections. And so it's just utilizing the network that I do have to continue.
Okay. Is this product patentable? Do you have a patent?
Yes. Yeah, so we're on that focus. I can't say too much, just because I do have connections out there in the industry, and so yeah.
Excellent. Well, great job on your presentation, and good luck. And Yasmin, back to you.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. That was great, Nigel. And I think a lot of us felt you when you were talking about back pain. I can definitely be your beta tester. Let me know. So with that, we're going to keep moving forward, and hopefully we can keep going with the sustainability aspect. So next up is a solution to get you to the most professional, reliable, and affordable engineering and design specialist for your upcoming project. So Daniel Delgado from Enginectra, give us a hello, and away you go. I can see your slides, but I can't hear you. I don't know if you're on mute. Daniel.
Hello. Hey, can you hear me now?
Perfect. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, it said that I didn't allow to unmute the host. Okay. So my name is Daniel Delgado. I'm the founder of Enginectra. So we are creating a marketplace, a two-side marketplace with a concierge approach for mechanical and electrical engineering services. So the problem is, imagine David, he just leased a space with CBRE, and he's ready to do his restaurant. He applied for building permit, and the city says, look, you need an engineer. And all of a sudden, he asks his contractor, look, we need permits. I need to get in my space in 2 months. And contractor says, look, drawings is going to take a month. And he said, look, I cannot afford that. My rent is coming up. So what happens is that he's stuck now having to wait for a month, sometimes even longer, and he cannot find an effective solution. And the challenge in the industry right now is that most of the players are large, and it's very difficult to find very reliable engineers that are able to have a quick turnaround. Our mission is to not let engineering to be the obstacle in the middle of your construction project with our two-side marketplace with a network of reliable professionals. We have created a two-side platform with a concierge approach where we connect clients and we manage the engineers and we deliver the products. We have just released a minimum viable product, which has the ability to target very specific components of mechanical and electrical engineering services. The industry is very large. For engineering, for small projects, it's $10 billion, and it's highly fragmented, very hard to capitalize for larger companies, and even for small freelancers. The unit of economics is very simple as any traditional consulting model, even though that we are doing projects on a case-by-case scenario. And one of the most exciting things with this is that there's a highly fragmented market for lots of architects, subcontractors, and business owners that you can acquire for as little as $750, and lifetime value can go $20,000 a year. We have had a scenario where one customer acquisition had led to up to $100,000 worth of projects. This is our traction so far. We have had a very exciting path. We have identified service market fit, and we're ready to essentially start scaling our solution with automation. Our current challenge is that really we are not able to take on more and more customers because now we need to further develop our platform. And that's why we're seeking to raise $1 million in seed round, $5 million plus money to hire key operational positions and accelerate product development. We're trying to target a 1-year runway to expand across Canada and potentially the US. We have an amazing teams, interns, and we have been able to put all this together through bootstrap and our own cash flow. Here's my contact, and welcome any question.
Good job, Daniel. Excellent presentation. So I guess with it being a two-sided marketplace, there's one cost there that's at $750 to acquire. Is that just one side of it, or is that including both sides?
Yeah, that's just one side of it. That would be only for the customers, and the customer acquisition cost is just based on pure CPC, Google AdWords. Only for one side. We're focusing for now only on the customer side. Yeah.
Okay. And there's a few questions coming in here. I'll grab them. So how do you vet skill sets to make sure the engineers are appropriate for the project?
Absolutely. So we check their experience. For example, a lot of these projects, when a business owner comes, might be a shop that it requires makeup air, for example. So we try to make sure that the people that are essentially executing the project are highly relevant to that project.
Okay. And I guess we kind of talked about, Edon says, how do you sign up participating engineers? How do you go after them?
Yeah, so what I've done, I just reach out for now. We have just reached out and recruit very few across the province and even in Ontario. And essentially say, hey, you want to earn an extra income. And typically these people, they are doing a day job in a larger firm and they want to earn extra income. So they are doing this on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. And we have time for one more. And Miles asks, what's the actual bottleneck on the product side?
Yeah, the product side is just really right now we have the product has been developed through VSC funding, an amazing developer, an intern. And right now, our bottleneck is not being able to scale our production to start doing more iteration and do more customer validation on the actual platform.
Perfect. Excellent. There's a couple more questions on the chat. If you wouldn't mind going in there and answering them, Daniel and Yasmin, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. That was a great presentation and just great picture so far. Jada, I don't know about you, but I just don't want the sand at all. You're agreeing. Perfect. But it's okay. We've got a few more companies to hear from. So our next speaker, I'd like to introduce Mark from RevSolz to take us through their innovation for the oil and gas sector. So do we have Mark? Oh, I can see your hand, but no voice. Just mime the picture.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry for that. I'm trying to screen share. Okay. Just really quick. Do you see my screen, or you have some?
Yes, I can see
Full
screen and it's full screen as well. You're good.
Awesome. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, appreciate it for the other presenters. And honestly, while I was going through all of it, I said, my presentation is going to be a little bit more technical. So guys, please bear with me a little bit. So I'm Mark Mukhtarli. I'm the co-founder and president of RevSolz Corp. And a little bit about our company. So what we are doing, we are trying to deliver the cutting edge IoT frac solutions to oil and gas sector. And our vision is to be an exemplary driver in the process of digital transformation. What is unique about us is that we are, let me just scroll down. I believe you guys are seeing all of it. Yeah. So what is unique about us is that we are trying to fill the gap that is been in the market of the frac monitoring and analytics for many years. We are building customized algorithms that is used for the reporting and making accurate predictions in the future for future data, with combining remote real-time measurements from multiple sources in the field environment. So our RevSolz platform is providing the smaller footprint and secure transmission with the wireless sensors that we are providing to the field. It's a real-time instant field data acquisition. It's a cloud-based servers, storages, analytics, and the software. Smart interface combines all frac components into a single screen. It's the automated diagnostics and analytics, and of course, AI ML enabled platform. So RevSolz's proprietary software is Fraxel. It's the IoT platform, and we can confidently and comfortably say that it's the only platform that is combines all the solutions in one, and it dives into the analytics real time. So the Fraxel platform consists of the 4 modules, and those 4 modules are the softwares independent from each other, and they're commercialized as independent products to the industry. So the first module is the Fraxel TWM, which stands for the treatment well monitoring. Offset well monitoring is the OWM. FTI is the fracture to interactions, or the interactions between the wells. And the Fraxel ML, which is the ML enabled predictive analytical tool that is under development right now. So the treatment well monitoring module is pretty much combining all the frac parameters that is coming to from the well, and gives you interactive interface and the software where you can drive your conclusions based on the key performance indicators. Offset well monitoring is where we are providing our own sensors, our own software, which is interactive mapping and the real-time cloud intelligent, business intelligent, I would say, powered alarm notification system, where you can receive your alarms as you continue fracking your wells. FTI interaction software is gonna let you get everything done and automatically. So everything's automated. All the interactions are classified, identified, categorized, and put into our platform. The production analysis going automatically as well. It's enabled with the geomatics and of course statistics, predictive statistics that is going to be very handy when it comes to analysis. We are in the growth stage, and we are in a few years, we are going to be in the sphere or arena where it's going to be autonomous fracking. And of course, in 4 or 5 years, once we meet our targets, we're going to be in the exit strategy. Based on our current client engagements, based on our cash flow that we are receiving right now with our current client, this is our 5-year projections, and we are ambitious on that. And we have the right resources, right team, right the platform, which is the unique and different than the other ones. Within the 4 or 5 years, minimum valuation, we are estimating multiplier for several multiplier of our EBITDA, which is going to be around $30 million. So thank you very much. And I hope you guys can.
All right. Well, good presentation, Mark. You went almost 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So I do have one question for you. You have a chart going up there with a lot of numbers, but how many clients are out there?
Clients. So right now we are working with one client. We have generated around $200,000 revenue from those clients. And usually during a year, if you are getting one E&P company on your portfolio, it's around $500,000. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. There's another question in there, Mark, in the chat, if you want to go answer it. And Yasmin, back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks for that presentation. That was great, Mark. And I'm making the TNT gang on the back end work really hard, flipping their own timetable on them. So, all right, up next, I promise I have this right this time. If you don't currently own or a rental property or currently rent at your place, I'm going to ask that you think back to those days. And I'm so sorry if it's a bad memory, but our next speaker may just have a solution for that. So Miles from Chroma, the virtual mic is yours. Apologies for skipping over you there.
No, that's totally all right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so my name is Miles. I'm co-founder and CEO of Chroma. Chroma is a technology company that is founded by ex-Skip the Dishes engineering and business leaders. And our mission is to make renting a better and more valuable experience. So whenever we look at the problem in these industries, in the residential renting industry, the experience is relatively low NPS. It's almost a bare minimum experience. And when we look at some of the market dynamics for why that is, it's super fragmented and really transactional. There's really poor alignment between renters and landlords, and it's almost an us versus them mentality. And when we kind of drill down even further, one of the root causes of that's maybe the biggest gap in the market is that there's no continuity of user experience. Every time a renter moves, they have to start all over again. And what that means is that every time a landlord wants to fill a vacancy, they have to, try to figure out if this person is going to be a good steward of the property and pay on time. So our solution is pretty simple. We design a platform, a multi-sided marketplace platform for long-term renting that isn't tied to your landlord. And that doesn't sound like rocket science, and it isn't. We build it in basically 3 phases. There's a core platform that's useful. It does things like, searching and matching and finding a place to live, payments and communication. The second value added piece makes it sticky, where renters can build credit by paying their rent and interact with their neighbors and communities. And the third piece is a trusted marketplace. And what that does is once we have scale, it enables a very high margin profitable business. So how are we different? Well, we're renter based. All the other competitors are tied to the landlord, and it's distributed from your landlord, which doesn't help you when you're moving because you don't get access to any of that information, nor does your next landlord. By monitoring payments and reviews, we can create better alignment. And so the renters and landlords on the Chroma platform will sort of be better, at least in terms of being able to pay on time and stewarding the property. We also have access to mom and pop landlords, which most of the competitors do not. Because they can't be identified, you can't go and sell to them. And that's 70% of the market. And we have a really clever way of addressing that. And we've got a unique revenue model. The high margin marketplace lets us keep the platform free for renters and landlords. So our revenue model in the marketplace, we actually get paid per transaction. This is on things like insurance products, like renter insurance, bank accounts, credit cards, mortgages. And then we have a matching marketplace, which is for listings where landlords pay to list on our platform. You can see some of our early traction on the right-hand side. We're by invite only right now. We're in beta. We're just sort of building. So we're slowly bringing people on. And then we've got some great partnerships with Immigration Services, Equifax, and Apollo to be able to kind of enable the whole platform. Our team is myself and our CTO, Riley Pickrell, who is my colleague and counterpart on the engineering side at Skip the Dishes. And then we've got a fantastic group of advisors and investors that we rely on quite heavily to help us try to figure out what we're supposed to be doing. So with that, I'll turn it over to any questions for anybody.
Oh, great job, Miles. As I see, you got the other founder of Sumedh on there, and Brad, of course. They're both legends in the system here. So you said it's Equifax. How come? How would you partner with Equifax? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, so right now, renters cannot build credit by paying their rent. And you can send an email once somebody gets evicted to negatively impact their credit score, but you don't get any benefit for paying for 5 years on time. Through what is a way too long integration process, we integrated with Equifax so that renters can authorize us to push their payments there so that they can build credit every time they make a payment.
Okay. And Edon has a question here. How can you clarify the revenue model?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just give you an example. Let's say someone wants renter insurance and they transact on it through our platform. We have attribution. So when that renter clicks on it and they go through that process and they buy, that insurance company then kicks us back a certain amount of money.
Okay, excellent. And is there an incentive for the landlords to subscribe?
So that's a great question. The way that we've sort of closed the gap on this and really made the whole thing go around is particularly for large scale landlords, because we know a renter is in a unit, is in a property, belongs to a landlord, we revenue share with them. So we give them access to that share of the customer's wallet or the renter's wallet that they were never going to get. So yeah, instead of them paying to use a software to manage their business, it's actually a revenue source.
Awesome. Excellent presentation. There's a few more questions in the chat. Head in there and answer them. And Yasmin, back to you.
Thanks.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much for that, Miles. Great presentation, great pitch deck as well. And before we continue forth, huge shout out to everyone organizing this event, the entrepreneurs, and as well the investors in this group that are participating over this investment summit process. It's a ton of fun. These events are always such a blast to be a part of. So we hope to see you guys at more events into the future. Okay, up next, we've got Nathan Bernhardt from Makenzie Clean Technologies. Nathan, go ahead and share your screen and let's get you started.
Okay. You see that?
Perfect. Yeah, we can see it. We see presenter mode right now.
Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. I've got two going on here. Is that better?
Still see the notes version.
There we go. Yes.
Maybe somebody else can chime in. Mine's frozen. That could be just me.
Same situation.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry about that.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm Nathan Bernhardt, CEO of Makenzie Clean Technologies. Every natural gas producer or processor has to remove water from the well site or anywhere along the processing system. The old technology that has been in place for decades uses glycol, which causes a chemical reaction and produces billions of tons of CO2 every year around the world, and other harmful gases as well. The glycol dehydrators, they have a lot of downtime. They cost a lot of money to maintain. You gotta always put more glycol into them, and this cuts into margins of the producers and processors. So our glycol-free dehydration system is 100% emission-free. It's a closed-loop system. There's no chemical reaction going on, so there's no gas byproducts going on. It's about the same price as a glycol unit, but in the long run, as far as operational and maintenance costs, it's far lower. But the real exciting part is just the carbon emissions or the lack of carbon emissions. And so there's huge cost savings for producers and processors. So there's nothing like this on the market that does what our technology does. We have it patented in Canada, the US, and most other major gas producing countries in the world. We've done a lot of testing with field units on gas wells, and we've done a controlled compressed air test to test for pressure and temperature. So our next stage is to put our unit on a commercially producing well, get third-party engineering reports and data verification, so that we can then go to market. So we think that we've got a really unique product here that can disrupt the whole natural gas industry around the world. There's about 4 trillion cubic meters of gas that's produced around the world every year. Our unit sells for about $1 million US. If you do the math, the market potential is in the $1 trillion range. That's just on gas wells. These things can go along the whole processing system. So we want to focus on our own backyard here initially, but we have a lot of interest from the Middle East, from Russia, from really anywhere that's producing natural gas. We've secured some manufacturing capacity initially, but our biggest hurdle here is to find a partner to put our unit on a producing well. And then we have letters of intent from buyers all over that once we've got that commercial test data verified by a third party, then we think we're set. So Robert Makenzie, he founded our company. He's chairman and CTO. He invented the technology. He's an inventor in the oil and gas industry. I'm the CEO. I've run companies of various sorts, as has Rod in CFO capacity. We just hired Tim, who's sold oilfield services tools around the world and introduced new oil and gas technologies to people around the world. So we're looking to raise about $1 million. About half of that would be to build the commercial unit, and then looking to scale up with manufacturing. So that's it. Thanks for your time, and happy to answer some questions.
Good job, Nathan. I do have so you said you've tested. So what's your TRL level?
Sorry, TRL.
Your technology readiness level? Are you?
Oh, we're ready to go. We know it works. We just got to get it independently verified.
So it's in the, you've tested it in the field and it works.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's going to be a question. Edon has a question in there. You can answer it after. How does it work? But so, I mean, I guess if you don't get funding, what's your timeline? Where are you looking, or if? Yeah,
there's some very specific natural gas clean tech type funds that we're talking to, as well as other private investors. We've got the current investor, who's the ex-CEO of the biggest oil gas company in Canada, and so we feel we have a pretty good network of folks that want to participate in this.
Oh, we got time for one more question. Like, how many dehydrators are sold in Canada, US per year?
There's about 200,000 that are in place in North America. The attrition rate is about 10%. So let's say that there would be 20,000 that would need to be replaced every year. The average lifespan of a glycol dehydrator is 5 to 7 years.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Great job. There's like I said, Edon has a question in there. You can answer them. And Yasmin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Great presentation, great pitch deck as well. So next up, we're actually going to circle back to one of our previous presenters. So Dustin, let's get you back up here for Mycorize. Let's see if your screen share works and audio is all good to go.
Perfect. Thank you. And sorry about the mishap earlier. I think my computer ate some virtual mushrooms and went on its own little trip. Okay, so. think I've got the workaround. Is that working for you?
Yeah, we can. Oh, perfect. Yeah, we see the whole presentation here. That's great.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's give this another shot. All right, great. Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Dustin Poole. I'm one of the co-founders of Mycorize. We are a mushroom technology that is starting from square one, focusing on growing mushrooms so that we are experts from cultivation to automation all the way through. A few years ago, my interest in sustainable building materials and the preservation of our forests drove me to the idea of looking at growing building materials out of mushrooms. And this brought me to my friend Andrew, who I knew was experienced in growing mushrooms and farming, and asked him what he thought and if he could help me figure out how to actually do this. From there, this opened up a whole new world of possibilities and opportunities of what could be done with mushrooms, and a realization that the market was basically completely unexplored. From there, we would quickly learn that mushrooms are sustainability experts. They're the best. They are some of the most sustainable crops you can grow on the planet. There's no need for pesticides, herbicides, or any other harsh chemicals, and you can grow them pretty much anywhere in the world in a very small environment. So this makes them exceptionally beneficial for urban environments where they have limited space and a need for locally produced food and medicines. So humans have barely scraped the surface of understanding the mushroom kingdom. We are constantly discovering new mushrooms, new species all over the world, and revealing all kinds of health benefits. These specialty mushrooms are at the center of an exponentially growing health food industry, and the supply chains are not able to keep up right now. Mycorize is fulfilling an opportunity in the market to produce the newest form of alternative medicine in a growing billion-dollar mental health industry. Currently, there is a large volume of unmet demand, and along with that, a lack of investment in technology that's specifically geared towards mushroom cultivation. Studies are also showing that mushrooms, or specifically medicinal mushrooms, can directly combat a wide range of chronic diseases, and this has led to a dramatically increasing demand for mushrooms across the globe. So a new industry from something that's been around for a very long time is psychedelic mushrooms. We know that 1 in 5 Canadians are suffering from mental illness. And our team has had firsthand experience in seeing how powerful psychedelic mushrooms can be with improving mental health. And we are driven to helping to make these accessible for anyone who needs them. We'll be working with health practitioners and scientists to produce large volumes of high quality and diverse psychedelic mushrooms, and doing this locally and year round. We'll act as a direct supplier, ensuring confidence in the supply chain and also for the patients using them. So tradition propels technology. Very little tech right now is available specifically for the mushroom industry, so there's a lot of room for innovation. Our strategic partners will help us adopt and refine proven technologies from the white button mushroom industry, and repurpose them for specialty mushrooms that we'll be growing. This will create new IP and patentable products that will create additional revenue streams long-term. With an aggressive data capture strategy, we'll become world leaders of mushroom data analytics and cultivation efficiency. This data will fuel our automation for robotics and AI decision-making, and will allow us to become a franchising platform to expand our supply chain. Our model avoids the risk of growing mushrooms typically while maintaining control over our customer base. And another point is that the mushroom growing is a legacy industry and hasn't been changed much for quite a long time, so it's ripe for disruptive technology. So our company focuses on 3 different pillars, one being specialty and gourmet mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, and nutraceuticals. And at the top of that is technology, which will be spread across all 3. Currently, we are seeing massive growth rates in all of these, and this is turning into a multi-billion-dollar industry across the world. If we can secure a very small percentage of our current provincial obtainable market, this will make us revenue positive within 2 years. So the path forward. Our business model will utilize a staged approach for responsible growth and produce immediate revenue streams, which will allow us to have the ability for strategic pivots if necessary. As soon as our new facility is operational, we should actually be selling product by late summer. By the end of this year, we will have our application in for being a psychedelic mushroom dealer, and we plan to be growing and producing by early 2023. And throughout the whole process, from now until about 2026, we'll be developing all kinds of technology and collecting data. And we plan to early 2026 have an entire AI and robotics platform specifically for mushrooms.
All right, Dustin, we're over or just over 5 minutes. So if you wouldn't mind kind of wrapping it up here. And
Yep, sorry about that. All right, well, competitive advantage. We're utilizing a staged risk mitigation, vertical integration. So basically from spore to store, we are managing everything from ground up all the way to our customers. We have strategic partnerships with a number of technology companies. They're helping us get around a bleeding edge technology platform. Funding, well, we have an unfair access to grant funding through our nonprofit organization, the Go Technology Foundation, and they're helping us access technology grants.
Excellent. All right, we're going to have to wrap it up there, but good presentation. There are, we won't get to any of the questions, but I see there's probably at least 10 or 12 in there. If you wouldn't mind jumping in there, Dustin, and answering them, and we'll go from there.
All right, perfect.
All right, Yasmin, back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks for that, Dustin. Great presentation. And yeah, tons of questions coming in, so definitely take a look at those. All right, so collectively, I know we don't want this to end, but all good things unfortunately must come to an end. However, no worries, we have one last company yet to present, so the fun doesn't have to end just yet. So Chris Fulton from Ontopical, a company helping you navigate what's new and important from local government organizations, is here to wrap up this extravaganza. So do we have Chris here? Do you have screen share and mic on?
I hope so. Can everybody hear me?
You sure do. Good to go.
Okay. Can you see the opening slide?
Yes.
Outstanding. I feel a little bit of pressure here. If I could just take 15 seconds, I'll just say on behalf of myself and every other previous presenter, thank you TNT for organizing this, and also thanks for the investors. You know, everybody that came as a spectator, just for staying and maintaining your focus throughout this long event. And if that's an overstretch, like if some of you just haven't, well, you only need to continue to pretend to listen for another 3 minutes. So I'll try and make it worth your while. Thank you. My name is Chris Fulton. I'm the co-founder and head of product at Ontopical. We're a Calgary-based company. So what does Ontopical do? We provide public sector business intelligence to the private sector. Now, the problem that Ontopical solves is a significant one. North America has lots of cities. However, it may surprise you that there are more than 95,000 of them. And with all these cities collectively publishing hundreds of thousands of documents every week, it's impossible for companies to reliably search and stay on top of valuable opportunities. Until now. Ontopical, a SaaS company or software as a service company, provides comprehensive search capabilities within the expansive municipal content published every day, such as agendas and minutes, meeting videos, and budgets. Even setting alerts for these kind of value of documents is a breeze. So you get notified as soon as the opportunities arise. In short, for the private sector, Ontopical is the ultimate competitive advantage. And while solving this problem is impossible for a human, it turns out it's very well suited for AI. We gather and bring structure to one of the world's largest and fastest growing public unstructured data sets. We do this using advanced machine learning, AI technology, and cutting edge data collection techniques. And because we leverage AI, our process is eminently scalable. Our small but mighty team is doing the work of hundreds, if not thousands. So how big is this market? In a word, huge. The TAM, or the total addressable market, is well over 1 million companies. However, we are channeling our efforts within the architecture, engineering, and construction sector singling out the 84,000 public sector focused companies, because this sector will account for approximately 60% of the infrastructure spending in North America over the next 8 years. That is a long and significant tailwind for Ontopical. With our average annual subscription of $25,000, this gives us a market opportunity of $2.1 billion. And please remember, this is focusing on just one sector. Finally, I'm very excited to share the last slide with you. It's our traction to date. So wait, the way you look, it's up top. Yeah, on the right-hand side of the slide, you'll see a number of company logos. These annual subscriptions are the result of 8 weeks of a single part-time salesperson. Honestly, we had no idea what to expect. This was sort of a test just to see what kind of interest Ontopical might generate out there. And the results are beyond mine and our team's wildest imaginations. I've worked at several Silicon Valley companies, and I have never seen or experienced anything like this. I just want to bring your attention to kind of the top middle of the slide. You'll see recent subscribers, Epcor, HipCamp, ExploreNet. I point these out because they represent 3 different sectors. So if one part-time salesperson was able to generate over 200,000 in ARR in only 8 weeks from some of the largest, most well-known companies in Canada and the US, then just imagine what a team of dedicated salespeople could do. So to that end, we are raising $3 million to expand content to every province and state in North America and hire a sales force to help us grow subscriptions to an ARR of 10 million in the next 18 months. We welcome you to reach out, please learn more, and join us on what is sure to be an incredible journey. Thank you all very much.
Oh, great job. Great job. I guess apparently Derek should have brought you on a little earlier, hey, as a co-founder.
Oh yeah, you've heard of us before. That's right. I've been with the company now for 6 months. Just love the idea and what I've seen. This has just been a rocket ship so far.
So I'm guessing you're that part-time sales guy that's brought in all this?
You know what? I wish. As it turns out, that's Derek. We threw somebody in with, slightly more experience than me.
Well, no, that's awesome. Congratulations. I mean, we saw you guys, and it's good to see that that you're scaling up like this. So
thank you.
I mean, is it all the money that you're looking to raise is all going to be really just focusing on sales and getting to market, and you're ready to go now?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. We are a very tech heavy team. So we're 10, 9 of us are technical. So yes, the primary focus is going to be building out a sales team.
Perfect. And I get there's one question. There's a few more you're going to have to jump in there and answer them. But can you apply this tech to other sectors for meeting tracking?
Yeah, another great question. We're super excited about this. So as we said, telecommunications, broadband, we have already one of Canada's top 10. That's a subscriber. Energy, oil and gas, IT and software. So Airbnb and HipCamp you just saw are interested. Uber, Lime, any of those companies trying to get in front of policy changes or regulations. They need to mine these municipal documents for that. And these are coming through either referrals or they're just coming through, honestly, some LinkedIn, very tiny amount of marketing. And we tend to just demo the tool. And we've found in the last 8 weeks, sometimes we're 5 minutes into it and they just say, yeah, we're doing this using Google right now and trying to find this content. So where do we sign up? So we're pretty excited about it.
That's awesome. And as I say, we got to shout companies like yourself from the mountaintop, another, 5-year overnight success story. So great job. Answer the questions in there if you wouldn't mind, Chris. And I know that's it. So woo, here, Yasmin, back to you, Tim or whoever. I don't care. I'm ready.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Great presentation, Chris. And honestly, I just wanted to take a second before I hand it back to Tim to say a huge thanks to the TNT team. You guys rock these events every single time. So much fun. And to the entrepreneurs for investing and all of you watching. This has been a great turnout. So thanks so much for having the honor of having us co-host here today. Tim, back to you. Virtual mic's yours.
Yasmin, the thanks is also to you because you paved the path to make this event happen. So this is awesome. Thank you. And thanks, Jade. Thanks, Yasmin. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, entrepreneurs. Thanks to the sponsors. Again, we can't do this without the help of these sponsors that are here. If you appreciate what everybody's up to here, please make sure to support them and make sure that you're supporting them because of what we're up to. Give them a shout out on our behalf. That'd be appreciated. Thank you guys for taking 2.5 hours, 20 awesome companies. This is a marathon. Don't worry. We have a longer marathon actually coming up this summer. We did a Great Alberta Pitch Marathon last summer. We're going to do it again. We have like 100 companies in a day. Imagine that. This is baby steps. We're going to get there. But this is awesome. I'm super excited. This is a magical event. I'm really excited to be able to get the investors hyped and allocated to be doing follow-up meetings with you guys. That's what the next step is for the investors. We're going to hop into a breakout room here so investors don't go away. Everybody else, we have the happy hour right now on Discord. I didn't check, but there's probably people online on there already because Edmonton has been done for a little bit. Brendan, if you can toss the link into the chat. There we go. Braden, we got it. Check out the Discord. It's a virtual happy hour. It's essentially like Slack, except you're able to chat and hang out. If you've used Remo, it's that without the tables, the visual aspect. Relatively simple to use. Take a peek. It's a blast. Go and have a beer. Really appreciate you guys taking the time. And this is a really exciting event. We're going to be back on June 17th in front of all of you, in front of the community to decide where a couple $100,000 is going to go into at least one of these companies. This is really excited. Thanks everybody for taking the time, and see you guys soon.